All right, gang. So in this course, I'm going to teach you guys how to build custom scans and watch lists. I'm going to actually give you guys a walkthrough on how to build an low implied volatility watch list or scan and a high implied volatility scan as well. And then I'm going to actually show you guys how to build a custom watch list in Thinkorswim using all the components that we have here. Now, this course is going to be really important because you're going to want to know which stocks to trade before you actually perform your technical analysis. So in this technical analysis course, this is going to actually show you how we actually filter through all the noise. It's going to help us to narrow our focus because there are literally hundreds of thousands of stocks that we got to comb through. And the number one question for most new traders is, which stocks do I trade? Well, you don't have to purchase any subscription services, anything like that. It takes less than 5 minutes a day for you to actually go through and do this so that you can find the stocks to trade and get some good ideas here. So you're going to want to begin this here on your scan tool, but you want to be in your live account because the paper account is going to be limited with the scan functions, and you can follow through until we start to place on filters, and then you wouldn't be able to do any go any further on your paper account. So I do advise you to do this on your live account. Okay. So what we want to do is make sure that we select the scan tab here. And under the scan tab, we have stock hacker, we have options hacker, we have spread hacker, spread book, ISC spread book. Although we're trading options, you really don't have to go through all of that. We just want to make sure that we're under stock hacker. Okay. So stock hackers, we want to begin. And if you don't see that setup scan here, you just want to click this button down and it's going to have a scan in. And we want to make sure that we're scanning in all symbols. So you just click this drop down, go to category, and you can see all the different components. So all symbols is right here. Okay. And then you want to go under intersect with all optionable. Okay. So all optionable. This means that the stocks that we want to scan for, we want to make sure that they actually have options included. Okay. So not every stock has options. So because we're trading options, we only want to, we want to narrow this thing down to the ones that have options to trade. So we'll begin there. And then under this tool here that says add filter, we want to add filter here. So hit add filter. Then we want to select stock. Once we select stock, we want to find the last traded price, which it says last. Okay. This is the last price that the stock traded at. I like to start off with $20 stocks. So you just type in 20, hit enter. And what this is going to do is actually going to exclude any stocks that's under $20, right? Because we don't want to get into the penny stocks. And if they're penny stocks, you might as well just buy them out. You don't need to trade options on them. So $20 is a good point. This is where I like to do it at. So we start at $20. So any stock that's above $20, that's what we're going to be looking to trade. So that's one part of our filter. Okay. And you see here at the right side, it says 2,600 matches. Now, that's still a lot of stocks. So we still need to get this thing narrowed down some more. So we're going to add another filter here. And we want to add stock. And then we want to go down to volume. And we want to make sure that we are choosing stocks that has high liquidity. So what I want to do is make sure that we're trading stocks that has at least 200,000 volume, 2,000 shares of volume that's traded. So 200,000. Okay. And then we want to go to another filter. We're going to add in a volatility index. We'll scroll down on the vol index, which is volatility. And in this scan, we're going to actually build the low volatility scan. And so with the low volatility scan, what we're actually looking for is basically stocks that are under 50% in volatility. So with our minimum, we'll just actually leave this here at 0. But we'll go to the max and we'll make sure that we put in 50. Okay, so anything that's under 50 is going to get captured in the scan. So this is going to bring us down. We got 1,584 matches. Let's narrow it down just a tad bit more. And then we're going to hit add filter. And this time we want to include study. Okay, so study, these are the things that we see on the charts when we're on the charts. And the tools that we're using, which, as we go further into the technical analysis course, you'll see the studies when we add them. But those are your pretty cool tools, like your MACDs, your stochastics, and, your trend indicators and things like that. So you can see all those indicators there on your chart. We actually want to filter through those studies. And this is the reason why you can't use this on your paper account, because it doesn't allow you to do so. So you got to do this on your live account. So we're going to go into study, and under volatility, we want to go under IV percentile. So under IV percentile, and it's just asking us the percentage, just basically giving us a range to scout through. And we want to make sure this is 0 and 50. So anything between 0 and 50, so it's basically under 50, we want to capture those stocks. And then we'll hit scan. And once we hit scan, we have a whole lot of stocks that just filter down in here. So we got, it says showing 200 out of 857 stocks. That is a lot of stocks still. We want to narrow this down a little more, but just taking it as it is, this here alone, this is a low volatility scan. So you can actually take this scan here and you can use those stocks to filter through, okay? And you can actually save this scan. So what you'll do is, if you want to save this scan as it is, you just go here to this menu button, and then you go to Save Scan Query. And that would allow you to save this scan, okay? So I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Low IV Scan. Let's give it the, I'm going to give it A. I'm going to put the letter A, Low IV Scan A. Okay, that's what I'm going to call it. All right. So now that we have the low implied volatility scan created here, what I want to do is actually add another component that's going to narrow this down even further. And then we're going to give that a different name. It's still going to be under the low implied volatility scan that we're looking at, but I just want to narrow it down a little more. So I'm going to give it one more parameter. And I'm going to go to Add Filter, and I'm going to go to Study. And this time, what I'm going to do is go under, I want to find crossovers. And I'm going to go to the MACD histogram crossover. All right. This is the moving average convergence divergence indicator here. And this indicator is pretty cool because it actually, give us some trend, some indication of trend. And also triggers let you know when to enter and when to exit a trade. And so we can pinpoint this this scan here to let us know the stocks that we scan above that they are ready to get into, or they're ready to exit out of. So we're ready to buy, we're ready to exit. Okay. And so what I want to do is leave this. I want to take this from negative to positive. That means that the histogram is going from negative numbers and it's going into positive territory, meaning it's going up, which is like trend. It's going to let us know that this is a buy entry point. It's ready for you to enter as a buy. You're going to leave all these things here the same. The fast length is 12, and then the slow length is 26. So these are basically moving averages. What they do is take the faster moving average, which is 12, and net it from the 26, which is the slow length moving average. And then you have the MACD there. And then the 9 is is basically the indicator that's tracking it. And so these two together, and then the 9 moving average, as it starts to cross over, that's how we know that it's time to enter or it's time to exit. So, but you're going to get all of this in the chart. And we normally don't use the MACD on our charts, but I want to actually scan with it because we got some other tools that kind of do the same thing. So I'm going to leave this as it is right here. I'm going to hit scan. And voila. So out of all those, it was over 800 stocks earlier. Now we only have 8 stocks. And so this is how you narrow the scope. It's just like taking a filter and then you narrow it down to your pipeline so that you have a more focus here. And so we just scan out all those stocks. And now we have a pretty cool list here where we only have 8 stocks that have buy triggers, meaning that, hey, it's time to get in. And so now that I have this scan here, I'm going to actually do another save. And I'm going to say Save Scan Query. And then I'm going to actually label this B. So that's my low IV scan there. And then what we'll do is let's create a high implied volatility scan list. And so we'll basically leave all the criteria at the top the same. And what we'll do is go to the IV percentile. And then we'll start here at the 49. Go for 49 here. And then in this one, we're going to type in 101. So I want to make sure we capture, from 49% to 101. Also, make sure that the volatility index up here, that we had that at the same levels at 49. And then we'll do, actually, let's just leave this one blank. And all you do is just hit enter. And so it has over 800 in that. We just basically want to make sure that we're capturing the high volatility stocks here. Okay. All right. And then we're going to say from negative to positive. We're going to keep it the same way. And then we'll scan. And so we don't have any matching symbols here for this particular scan. So let's go from positive to negative and see what we come up with there. Okay, so from positive to negative, that's indicating it's ready to exit. Okay, so this is, we just changed this one MACD if we want to actually find a way to exit here from positive to negative. But we're looking for entry points that, for bullish setups, basically. So I'm going to take this back to negative to positive. Okay. And what I want to do here is to, in fact, let's actually remove this filter. And just capture the high implied volatility stocks. So this is without the filter. So when we do it without the filter, now we have 115 stocks here. We got 115 stocks. And what I want to do is save this scan query to high IV scan A. So we're going to save that. Now let's go back and bring back in our MACD here. We go to study. And then we're going to go to the MACD. Crossovers. Okay. Then we have from positive to negative here. And we're going to do another scan. Oh, I forgot. That's the bearish side. That means that you're looking to sell or to short. We're going to go from negative to positive, and I believe we didn't have anything in the last scan query here. But as you see how, when we add this one parameter, it actually will take this and take this scan list, and it'll actually filter it down. Okay? So, but we don't have anything that's giving us a trigger on our MACDs, but we still want to scan for it. I'm going to leave it here. And what I want to do is actually save this scan. Although there's nothing there now, there could be something that will pop up anytime throughout the day. So we're going to save this scan query. High IV scan B. Bingo. All right. So there you guys have it. You have two scans. We just showed you guys how to make a low implied volatility scan and then a high implied volatility scan. And then you have a more laser focused scan within those scans. Okay. Those scans are important because in the strategy courses, you guys have already learned strategies that matches these levels of volatility. So it's an easy way for you to go and filter these stocks. And you already have a strategy that works for those particular stocks in particular. So now at this point, and again, the stock bell is getting ready to close here. So you're going to hear the bell ring here. It's 3:59. Market closes at 4 o'clock as we're doing this recording here. So what I want to do is actually show you guys another technique here that you can actually use within Thinkorswim, but also using a tool outside of Thinkorswim. So there's a tool that I like to use, which is free, and it is called, let's see here. All right, it's called FinViz. Okay, so FinViz is a free tool that you can use to scan and filter stocks also. And I like to use this. There's a stock bell. All right, so I like to actually use this scan here. for pattern stocks. If I'm looking for certain patterns, I really like to use this. Although you can actually scan for patterns in Thinkorswim, I haven't found it to be the best. This here works a whole lot better. So what you want to do is, I'm going to show you how to scan for it here in FinViz, and then you can actually place it within your Thinkorswim platform. So what you want to do is have you a Microsoft Excel document sheet open. Okay. Just to have a blank sheet open, and then you have your FinViz open over here. And you can use the paid services on FinViz, but it's actually free what I'm using. So you don't even need a login. It's free. So just go to Screener. And once you get into Screener, this allows you to screen kind of similar to the way we do it in Thinkorswim. But you can scan here. If you go to Technical, we'll go to Technical here. And under Technical, you can see the pattern. And so you can actually dial in through the different patterns that are available. Okay. So say we scroll down and I want to scan for Head and Shoulders patterns. Okay. FinViz is going to actually filter those out for me. Okay. So you can actually see that we have a list here of Head and Shoulders patterns. And what you can do is you're going to want to actually get this into Excel, and you can hit export, but you got to be a paid member to export it straight to Excel. But there's a trick, there's a workaround here. If you take your mouse and hover right here at the bottom left corner under the chart itself, you'll get like a little eye symbol here. It says like you can click on it. Click that, and then drag all the way up. All right? And when you click and drag it all the way up, you're going to highlight the chart itself. All right? Then you want to hit Control and C to copy that data. Once you copy that data, you want to come over into your Microsoft Excel document here. And just click into the first tab, the A1 cell. And then don't Control V this in here. What I want you to do is right click and then go under, not the first tab here, because we don't want the coding to be pasted. We just want the text itself. So you hit Match Destination Formatting. Bingo. You paste that in there just like that. And then what you want to do is go under Ticker. You hit Control Shift, and you just hit down on your keyboard, and you can highlight all of those. Or you can just use your mouse and just highlight all of those cells. You just want to basically highlight the tickers. Hit Control and C. Okay. Then we want to go back to our Thinkorswim platform. And when we get back into our Thinkorswim platform, you want to go under the Market Watch tab. And then you'll go here. You want to go here under this tab and go to Create Watchlist. I want to give this a name. I'm going to give it the Head and Shoulders patterns. Head and Shoulders. Okay. And then what I wanted to do, let me just move it over here. Okay. So we type in Head and Shoulders to give it a name. And we want to import, go down to Import. And when you hit Import, it says Load From here at the top. Hit Paste Symbols from Clipboard. And you see all of our symbols are now loading in there. And then you just want to hit OK. And now you have those symbols loaded in. So you just hit Save. Bingo. Now we have a watch list that consists of our Head and Shoulders. Okay. And then on our right tab here, as you guys see when we click this, it closes the left side of the chart. I want to open that back up because this is where we can load our watch list. And so what I'm going to do is click this, and I'm going to go into personal. You can see we got personal watch list. I have from 0 all the way to W. And then there's public watch list. Then there's the popular ones, the lovers, the top. All of these are watch lists and scans that are already created. So those are the public ones. You can actually filter through those. The personal ones are all the ones that, you create yourself, right? So what I want to do is actually go and search for the H, for the ones that we just created, which is the Head and Shoulders. And I'm going to click it right here. And it's going to load up to the left here. So if I'm looking for some particular plays here, I got it in my watch list. It's called a watch list because I can see it. It's right here. Okay, so I can see the watch list. I can see the stocks that I want to trade right here. Those are all the head and shoulders patterns right here. And then you can actually go in and confirm, those patterns and see what they look like. You can go in here and just type them in to your tab, JRJC. Okay, and this is a particular stock that has that pattern. Okay, and so this is a bearish pattern, by the way. But as you can, see, you can just go through the stock list that you have, and you already have the pattern set up, and you already have your direction that you're going, because this is a bearish pattern. So if you're looking for some bearish exposure, you could do that right here. The watch list actually narrows that all the way down so you can see, where we need to be trading. So again, this is very, very useful stuff here. You don't need to be purchasing, buying anybody's, watch list and things like that. That's crazy. You can do this stuff yourself. Also, you can take the scans that we actually just did, and you can mix it with the stocks that we just had here if you actually want to find the low volatile stocks within the head and shoulders patterns. I mean, you can actually just go right back into your scan tool, and you can actually go into scan in, and we just want to go through our personal, let's see, to the H's, and we go to the head and shoulders. Bingo. Okay. And we can actually go to scan from right here. Actually, let's load up this scanner back again. My apologies. We got the wrong one. Load scan query. So we're going to load that scan list, which is the high IV. Let's go to low IVA. I'll go to low IVA, and I'm going to go back to scan in, and I'm going to go to the head and shoulders. And see how we just cross path all of that? And then you can hit scan. So you can scan within your custom watch list, which is also pretty phenomenal. So we can see CP, this one here, meets the criteria for what we're looking for. Head and shoulders pattern with low volatility. So we'll just go in, pinpoint with precision. Okay. And that's how you can find, your setups. All right. Also, one last thing here. Let me go back to the scan. Once you actually get your scan in here, let me just take us back to the all symbols and get some more scans in here so you can see more. So once we get this in here, we can see the breakdown of all these, things here. We've got the symbols, the description of the stock, the last traded price, the net change, the percent change, the volatility index, IV percentile, and things like that. You can actually customize all of these. All you do is go here under the gear tab and hit customize. So if there's anything that you are not interested in, you can just remove it, like earnings per share, EPS. I don't need that. I'm going to remove it. The bid and the ask, don't really care about the bid and the ask, so I'm going to remove those. And the high and the low, I don't care about those either. I'm going to remove those. And then I hit OK. And I have a more focused, look here, what I'm looking at. Okay. So if I want to filter these from high to low, I got it filtered from market cap, which is the biggest stocks, to the lowest ones. And I have them filtered in that way here. You can change how you filter this. If you want to filter from the volatility index, from levels of volatility, you can. So you just go, basically just click it from lowest volatility all the way up to the highest. You can do it that way. You can also change these things over here in your watch list tab as well. Now, I do have a custom setup here. But as you can see, you can actually go in and change these just by clicking the filter, the sort filter button there. You can change it however you want to. So that is your comprehensive course on scans and watch lists.